is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Abigail Okwande, and this is Africa Now. Hundreds of inmates have fled the prison in Matadi, a port city in the west of the Democratic Republic of Congo, after two armed men subdued the guards and then broke open the main gate, local media reports. Security officials say about 300 inmates rushed towards the police, who were firing into the air, grabbing their weapons and killing an officer. The deputy director of the jail said the facility had 737 inmates, even though it only had a capacity of 150. Abdiaziz Mahmoud Guld, a prominent Somali journalist and critic of the Al-Shabaab armed group, was killed by a suicide bomber as he was leaving a restaurant in the capital Mogadishu. Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the blast, which killed Radio Mogadishu director commonly known as Abdiaziz Africa. The attack wounded several other people, including the director of Somali National Television and a driver. Guld was well known for his interviews with detained Al-Shabaab suspects, and his broadcasts often attracted large audiences. Unidentified gunmen killed a policeman and kidnapped 5 Chinese nationals near a mine in southeast Democratic Republic of Congo overnight, a local official and an army spokesperson said on Sunday. Relations are already strained between Chinese mining companies and local authorities, who say some firms are operating illegally without licenses. Separately, to combat the squandering of mining assets by unnamed political actors and officials, President Felix Tshisekedi ordered that until Congo's mining registry has been audited, there should be a ban on issuing and trading mining permits. And in politics, under a deal to end weeks of deadly unrest in Sudan, the military on Sunday reinstated Prime Minister Abdalla Hamdok and promised to release all political detainees. Under the new agreement between the military and civilian political parties, Hamdok is expected to form an independent cabinet of technocrats, said Fadala Boma Nasir, head of the Umma party, who attended the talks that led to the deal. One person was killed in continued protests by thousands of protesters who in the early afternoon marched towards the presidential palace in Khartoum and called for the downfall of military leader Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, disregarding the deal. Libya's interim Prime Minister Abdulhamid al-Debeiba on Sunday registered as a candidate for the presidential polls of December 24th, demanded by a UN political forum last year as part of a roadmap to end Libya's civil war. This comes despite the Prime Minister having vowed not to do so as a condition of taking his current post, and despite contested election rules that may prevent him from standing. The Electoral Commission and Libyan courts are likely to rule on the eligibility of candidates in the coming weeks, a process that may itself stir new disputes. This is your digital-first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You're watching Africa Now. Business and more coming your way after the break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. In business, the International Monetary Fund has advised the Nigerian government to completely remove the retrogressive fuel and electricity subsidies in early 2022. It says it should be considered a priority as part of the government's fiscal policy. The IMF noted that Nigeria's past experiences with fuel subsidy removal, which have all been short-lived and reversed, underscore the importance of building a consensus and improving public trust regarding the protection of the poor and efficient and transparent use of the saved resources. The organization noted that the headline fiscal deficit is projected to worsen in the near term and remain elevated over the medium term. And moving away from business, the United States will offer support to Tunisia once it has announced dates for political reform, a Tunisia presidency statement said nearly 4 months after President Kais Saied seized political power. The statement comes after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken encouraged Tunisia's leader to make reforms to respond to Tunisian hope for democratic progress, the U.S. State Department said on Sunday. Saied last week said he was working non-stop on a timetable for reforms to diffuse growing criticism at home and abroad since he dismissed the cabinet, suspended parliament, and took personal power in July. Now the president of Burkina Faso has been asked by France to help intervene after a human barricade of protesters opposed to Paris's role in a regional conflict with jihadists stopped a convoy of French troops in the Sahel country en route to Niger on Friday. Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian said the manipulators were stoking anti-French sentiment, but he hoped the Burkinabe authorities will act to find a solution. Anger is rising in the former French colony over the inability of Burkinabe and international forces to prevent rising violence by Islamist militants. There is a proposal by South Africa's Department of Home Affairs for a gender-neutral ID number that does not highlight someone as male or female. LGBTQI community welcomes the new proposed non-gender marker, which it says is overdue. Gender rights experts have highlighted that the problem of not being able to change the gender marker brings out difficulties in activities such as opening a bank account. The Department of Home Affairs document on identity management states that South Africa has an estimated 530,000 South Africans who identify as non-binary. Now, the Kenyan government plans to introduce a directive next month to prevent citizens who haven't been vaccinated against COVID-19 from receiving government services. Kenyans will also require proof of vaccination in order to visit government institutions for education, immigration, tax, and other services. The directive will come into force on December 21. Kenya has a target of vaccinating 10 million people by the end of December. So far, less than 10% of the total population has been vaccinated. And that is it on Africa Now. For more updates, to visit our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Follow us and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. To stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS Television Network, I am Abigail Ukmade. Thanks for watching.